Everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to create an iOS plugin to integrate a WebView inside Godot game engine. Now I know that Godot game engine has its own WebView node as well, but I feel that is very limited. Sometimes it is not updated properly as well. As far as I can recall, it does not use the corresponding WebView of the native OS which you are running. I could be wrong, do correct me if I'm wrong on this. That's why what I will be doing is I will show you how to integrate the iOS WebView which is provided by the iOS platform itself. So yeah, let's see how to do this. I have already made a video on this with Objective C++, but I have stopped making video in Objective C because Godot Swift allows you to write all the things in Swift, and Apple also recommends to use Swift for writing iOS code. That's why. So first, as usual, you will have to open Xcode. The thing which you're seeing right now on the scene is just a cheat sheet which I have created, so don't worry too much about it. Also, you would require macOS for this to install, and you would require Xcode to be installed. You can download Xcode from Apple App Store. In the meantime, what we can do is we can just copy this URL. This is a guide which will tell us all the things which we need to do for creating the iOS package. So you can just open this guide over here, and here it tells the same thing like open Xcode and just create a new package. So before that, I have created an empty folder called Godot. You can name it whatever you feel like. You don't have to even create this folder. It's just that at the end of this tutorial there will be 3 different projects. Just to manage that, I have created this parent folder. So you can just go to Xcode, just click on File, New, and select Package. Let's just wait. Yeah, here in multi-platform, select Library, click Next, and here you can go to your folder wherever you want to save it. I will save it as my library. You can change the name whatever you feel like, but if you're doing this for the very first time, I would recommend you follow what I'm doing, because this library name is very important and it will be used in a lot other places as well. So I'll just naming it as my library. I'll click on create. So let's just wait for this to finish. Okay, then inside that we have to add this bit of code. So if you go to the documentation also, it tells the same thing. So here you can see they tell us to add this dependency after products. So I can come after products and I'll just paste this particular bit of code. I will just do Command S and it will automatically download this SwiftGodot dependency using Swift package manager, so we don't have to worry about installing this. Here you can see it has already downloaded it for us. Then we have to add this platform iOS version 17. Again, I'll just come over here. Here you can see they have told us to add it platform macOS, but we are interested in iOS. So I can just, after this comma, I can paste this particular bit of code. The minimum deployment target, I have kept it as version 17 because there are some issues with SwiftGodot if I lower down this version. That's why. Then we have to add this type dynamic, as you can see in the documentation they have given. So after library name we can add this type dynamic. Okay, then we have to add this dependencies as well. So again, I'll just copy this. I'll just scroll down. Inside target we have to add this dependencies. So here I will just paste this particular bit of code. I'll just improve the indentation a bit, so make sure you add a comma as well. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Now at the time of me recording this video, SwiftGodot does not support Swift version 6, but you should check if SwiftGodot does support Swift version 6 or not, because Swift version 6 introduces a lot of concurrency things. So I'll just change this version to 5.10 of Swift. This is also important. Then you can just go to my library.swift. Now I have already written down the required code for practice before making this tutorial. So I'll just go to my practice project and just copy the code. So I just need to open these 2 files. Okay, so first I'll just copy everything from this and I'll just paste it over inside my library.swift. So firstly we have to import UIKit as well as SwiftGodot, and this is boilerplate code which you have to write, but here it should be your own library name. Then here I have annotated with @main actor so that it runs on the main thread, as well as @Godot. and here we have created this class of my library which extends ref counted. Here we have created this method which takes a URL and that will be open inside a WebView. Now this method will be called from Godot side, that's why we annotate with @callable. Here we get hold of our root view controller. Then we need to create one more Swift file, so that will open a WebView. Currently it is very difficult to embed a WebView inside an existing Godot scene. That's why I need to create a new scene or screen. Basically a view controller in native iOS is a new screen. So that's what we are doing over here. We are sending, so this particular variable will be part of WebView controller. We are assigning that URL. We are setting the model presentation style, and we are presenting our WebView. Now you just need to create this file. So just go to your library, right click, new empty file, name it as WebView controller. Okay, again I'll just come over here and copy everything, and I'll just paste it over here. So here you can see we are importing UIKit as well as WebKit. Then we extend a UI view controller, which is basic boilerplate code. Then here we use this WK navigation delegate, which you can use for WebView. Then here we are initializing our WebView. Here is the variable which we will be initializing from our library, which we will get from GDScript side. Then once this screen loads, we immediately initialize our WebView, set the navigation delegate, translate auto resizing is false. This basically is used to programmatically set how your WebView should look like. So I'm trying to occupy as much width and height for our WebView, also adding this WebView to our parent view. Then to go back to the original screen, I have created a UI button, and I have set the title color, background color, corner radius, as well as a click listener to it, and again same auto resizing translation I have done. Okay, and once we get the proper URL, we convert it to an iOS URL, and then we just do webview.load, pass the URL request URL, and here is our method which gets called on the button click. So we just dismiss our view controller once our button has been clicked. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll just remove my cheat sheet from VS Code. I will just open this entire Godot folder which I have created inside VS Code. There are few reasons for it. Firstly is, again I have just pasted my cheat sheet, don't worry too much about it. Firstly is we need to create a build.sh file inside our native iOS project. I am not really comfortable creating that from Xcode. If you are comfortable, you can do that. I'm just comfortable with VS Code, so I'll just open our my library which we have created. Inside that I will just create a file called build.sh. Next we have to go to this particular URL over here, and again shout out to this guy who helped me first for creating a SwiftGodot dependency. So next we just have to copy all this code, and we just go to build.sh and paste it over here. Sorry, cancel, save it. Make sure you save it. If you are using VS Code, it does not automatically save it for you. Okay, and the thing which you need to change is just go at the top, and here you just have to name it as my library. Then there is one more thing which you need to add. Again, this should be your own library name. And one more thing which we have to add, which I was facing a lot of issue because of macro validation. So after this, make sure you add this. Make sure there is no empty spaces after or before this particular line of code. All right, so once that is done, we can open our terminal. We can cd to my library. Okay, and then I can just first run this particular command, and then I need to run this command. Now I'm not planning to deploy this to Apple App Store, so I can just generate the debug framework. But if you are planning to deploy to Apple App Store, you need to generate the release one as well. So instead of debug, you just have to write release. But for me, debug is fine, so I'll just copy this and paste it over here. Now this will take a little bit of time, so be patient. In the meantime, we can just open Godot game engine. And here I'll just click on create. I will browse to the Godot folder which we have created. Okay, I'll just name it as my Godot project. Feel free to name it whatever you feel like. Okay, and I'll just click on create and edit. Let's just wait. Then here you can just click on create 2D scene, and we will just have one button to open our WebView, nothing else. And I'll quickly save it as well. and I'll run it so that my root scene is selected. Okay, otherwise you will get error if you directly try to run it on iOS. Now I'll just expand this button a little bit. Okay, name it open or whatever you feel like. Sorry. And here you have to attach one script. Then you go to project, click on export, click add iOS, click on fix import. Make sure you enter your app store team id. I'll enter mine later on, but you have to enter your app store team id now only. So just here you can see this is the app store team id, which for this just go to this url. It will guide you on how to get your app store team id. Okay, then just scroll down, and here we have to enter our bundle identifier. So I'll just enter it as com dot nobody dot my app. You can name it whatever you feel like. Then I'll just close this. Then again I'll just go to VS Code. Here is my Godot project. Inside that I will create one bin folder, and inside that I will create this .gd extension file. You can do this from the Godot game engine as well if you want to. The reason why I'm not doing it, if you see we have this bin folder. If I try to open it inside Godot game engine, I'm not able to open it. I don't know why. Then inside this my library.gd extension, you have to copy paste this bit of code. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. So again, if you are created release mode, you will have to replace debug with release over here as well as over here. Okay, next again I'll just cheat a little bit. I'll go back to my old project and I will just copy some code. So I'll just open this .gd file. So first we have to get hold of our library. So for that I'll just copy this code and I'll paste it over here. Okay, then the next thing is we have to initialize our library. So again I'll just copy this, and inside ready I'll just paste it over here. So I'll just expand this a little. So here again this should be your own library name, this should be your own library name. Then I will just go to our button as well. I'll go to node, I will add this press signal, I'll click on connect. Okay, then here inside on the button press I'm just opening this particular URL. You can enter your own URL whatever you feel like. So I'll just show you the code. If once the my library is not equal to null, I'm just calling this open WebView method which we have defined. So yeah, I think that should be it. Yeah, one more thing is, if you go to your terminal, this was successful as well. So what we can do is you can just go to your Godot project, go to your library, go to bin, go to iOS, and you have to copy this dot framework folders. Then go to your Godot project, go to bin, and you have to paste it over here. So yeah, this is done. Now we need to export our project. The next thing is we just have to again go back to our Godot project. Inside that I will just create one folder called iOS. You can name it whatever you feel like. It's just that once we export our project there will be lot of files. That's why I've created a separate folder. So again, coming back to our Godot project export, click on export project. Here you will have to go to the iOS folder and just click on save. Now this will export our project, so this will take a little bit of time, so be patient. So as you can see, the project has been exported successfully. Next you just have to go to the iOS folder and double click on this .xcode proj file. It will automatically open it in Xcode for you. Then make sure you run it on your real device. It will not work on the simulator. So yeah, just wait for this to finish. Also I'm just mirroring my device. When you run it for the very first time, it does fail. I don't know why. I think second time's the charm. Let's just wait. If you want to like, I'm not going to edit this out. It takes a lot of time for editing. If you want to fast forward the video, you can do it. Okay, so here you can see it is throwing me an error. I'll just click on continue. I think it will throw me one more error, I guess. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I think so it should work. Okay, so here is our output. I'll click on this open button, and here you can see it has opened it inside, like it has opened a web view for us. And I can click on this back button at the left hand side top to go back to the previous window. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.